This is a tutorial of red blood cells by Charlie Wu. What allows red blood cells to hold onto oxygen molecules? Now, a red blood cell contains a protein called hemoglobin. And what this protein can do is that it's able to bind to oxygen molecules. So as the red blood cell is transported throughout the bloodstream, the oxygen molecules can then be distributed to the different tissues. What is the interaction with antigens and immune cells? So what antigens are is that they're a signal to your body that tells your body whether or not that your red blood cell is safe. So if an intruder blood cell would come in, your body will be able to see this, and your antibodies will be able to latch on to this invasive cell. Your white blood cell will then come in, see this intruder, and kill it. What are the two main types of antigens, and how did it lead to the 4 different blood types? So there's 2 types of antigens. One is the A antigen, and the other is the B antigen. And these are coded by your alleles. And the different alleles that there are is that there's an A allele, a B allele, and an O allele. Now, alleles are sections of DNA, also known as genes. These genes are the codes of instructions for how to build antigens. In genetics, everyone is given 2 alleles. You're given one from your mom and one from your dad. And the alleles will determine your blood type. So if you are passed on the A allele, it will code for the A antigen. If you were passed on the B allele, it will code for the B antigen. However, the O allele doesn't code for any antigens. So if you are an O blood type, your red blood cells will have no antigens. Now the tricky thing about it is that the A and B allele are what's called dominant alleles. And the O allele is a recessive allele. Now what means is that if an A allele and an O allele will be passed on, the A will override the O, and you'll just end up with an A blood type. And that is the same for the B. So if like one parent passes on the B allele and the other passes an O, you have a B blood type. So the only way to have an O blood type is that if both parents pass on the O allele. So you'll end up with an O blood type. Now the final is that if one parent passes on an A allele and if one passes on the B allele. And so these are both dominant, they're gonna work together, and you're gonna have an AB blood type. Now the way you can find out your blood type is because based on what type of blood type your mother and father will have. Now, as you know, the A and B blood types, it basically means that the 2 alleles that your parents have would be an A and O because the A is dominant, and a B and O. So if both parents have an A blood type, these are the 2 possible options that your child can have for a blood type. So in this example, since one parent, your father, has an A blood type, that means his 2 alleles are an A and O. That's the same for your mom. Your mom will have an A and an O allele. Now if we do the Punnett square, these are different combinations of alleles the child will have. Now in all these 3 different circumstances, with these 3 different pairs of alleles, you will have an A blood type. Now however, if both parents pass on the O allele, you will have an O blood type. Now this type of functions translate to all these different types. So if you had one parent having an A and one having a B, you will use your Punnett square, and then you can find out all the different possibilities you can have. And that's the same for all the others.